Hello, readers of Autism Digest. I'm Carol Stock Kranowitz, and I'm here with Annette Himmelreich, who you may remember was one of the stars in the Out of Sync Child Grows Up that was published in 2016. So, 10 years after first meeting her, I'm here again with her to find out what's going on in Texas. So, Annette, you want to say hello to everyone?
Hello. Hi, how's it going?
Annette, I've enjoyed our conversations recently so much, and I wonder if you want to talk a little bit about the importance of humor when you're relating to children and adults with sensory processing differences, because you have said that SPD and humor go hand in hand, and how important it is.
Absolutely. Growing up, especially here in Texas, my parents and my sister, we were always very good at our humor. Like we just have a kind of a wicked sense of humor. And so along with that, it's just using your imagination to kind of deal with somebody who's been through sensory processing differences. Growing up, my mom just knew that there were certain things that just needed to be done to kind of help me adjust to things. For example, at church, it was either Annette's going to sleep or she's going to act up. Which one are we going to deal with here? So she would rub my arm until it made me go to sleep, or um, in the car, they would give us, one time we were driving from Kansas to Texas, and they gave us some little jars of milk, and they said, shake it till it turns to butter. Well, I'm an impatient person, so I fell asleep probably. My sister, I wake up and I look over and she's still sitting there shaking it. And she's like, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I was like, Trisha, it's not going to happen. It's not happening. You know?
So
And so,
that game
yeah,
half worked, right?
halfway it worked. And so a lot of times it was just having that imagination. And so kids that are sitting in the car, and if, for example, I've said this before, I believe in the book, I would look at the grass and with my eyes, I would shave the grass and jump over cement. It was just a way to have some games in your mindset, but it's that humor, that imagination that kind of helped me do that. And I was thinking last week, I was in the car driving, my sister and I had to drive somewhere, and it was late at night, and I remembered, I was like, oh, I used to jump over the light, jump from one light to the next whenever I was in the back seat, because that motion sickness would come if I didn't have a game, if I didn't have that imagination. So if a kiddo says, oh, mom, look, I'm shaving the wires, or I'm doing something where I'm jumping over the poles with their imagination, that's to help them kind of deal with some of that sensory processing differences that maybe some of us have with each other. Some people can sit in a car and read a book. I wish I could. I'm so jealous when I see that. But but for me, I have to have some kind of games that help me kind of play with it. I mean, in school, I would put my coat over my legs. Nobody told me, hey, and then if you do this, it's like a weighted blanket. No one had that knowledge, of sensory processing back then. So a lot of times I just would put the coat over my legs, and it helped me kind of feel like I was comforted. And so there's things like that that kind of help you, especially if you have that humor, if you see things in a more humorous way.
Right. And
So
it's so
yeah.
wonderful when parents and teachers can capture what it is that the child is doing,
Hmm.
self-therapy,
Hmm.
as you were doing with the coat on your legs, or your interest in what you were seeing out the window. When parents can weigh in on that and offer their own ideas for playfulness, because sometimes raising kids is a serious business, but it's
Right.
so much better when we're having fun.
A lot of times, I had a student one time that he liked to put things together with paper clips while he was studying. So I put a whole thing of paper clips on my desk near the edge, and he sat next to my desk. And I was like, just grab whatever you need to. I mean, at first he was stealing them, and I was like, you don't need to. No reason to steal paper clips. So I would put them right next to the desk, and he would just grab them, and he would just sit there and make things with them with his fingers. And I go ahead, do that. That's absolutely fine. I'm good with that, because if they're doodling on a piece of paper, if they're doing some of those things, I know they're probably thinking a little bit better than a kid that's just staring
Yes.
at me. Because a person staring at you, what are they thinking of? Their grocery list. They're, thinking about anything other than what you're actually
When
saying.
can I get out of here?
Yeah. And you can tell in their eyes because they go into that deer in the headlight kind of look. And so you just kind of go, okay, let's just give them something that's going to help them. My sister, she's an occupational therapist, and she has like plastic on her table so that her children can grab the little whiteout markers, like the little markers and they'll sit there and draw, and then they can just erase it. And it helps them to hear a lot more than just staring at me.
Right,
So
right.
I think that's a great idea. It's always helpful to be imaginative, to give some imagination to kids, because
So
I
right.
think nowadays, especially with all the devices, they're not getting that. So
Yeah,
it's very
yeah,
important to give
yeah.
them that.
The people relatedness is really wonderful.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for these additional ideas, and I hope people enjoy
Absolutely.
the article. I just loved working with you and making that list of all the things that you come up with to help kids get through some serious test taking.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, we wish you well, and nice to work with Annette and have another article for Autism Digest. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay.